This is astrologically one of the biggest weeks of the year. Jupiter enters into its sign of exaltation, Cancer, for the first time in 12 years. So we're looking back in time. The last time this happened for you and me and the world was 2013, 2014. One session back from that is 2001, 2002. And then one more, 1989, 1990. We could keep going on and on. But what's important to think about for you is what was going on thematically in your life? What blessings, what optimism, what area of your life was feeling good at that time? Jupiter in Cancer is looked at as very beneficial. It's very auspicious. It's very lucky. And the reason is because out of all the 12 signs, the best place for Jupiter to be is its exaltation. It's this home exaltation is Cancer. Cancer, why? Because it's the sign of growth and nurturing and optimism and things coming into this world and being fresh. It's ruled by the moon, and these two together are very powerful, Jupiter and the moon, in this sign of Cancer. But Jupiter even more so because it doesn't have responsibility to take care of the boring stuff. It doesn't have to pay the bills or make sure that the grass is mown or whatever. I mean, just silly things like that. But this in general will depend upon what house it's going into in your whole sign chart, but that area of your life is about to get an upgrade, let's say. So it's not going to be the same for everybody. Obviously, the world continues going on and each person has an individual chart. Each experience is going to be different for each person. Of course. But what's happening here is generally there's really good things in June, but there's squares. There's these other things that are happening simultaneously. Jupiter in Cancer is one of our great moments of the year. And at the same time, it's going to be squaring up with Saturn. It's the third square. Saturn is very hard-headed when it's in Aries. It's in its fall. It's in a place where it's not necessarily comfortable, but Saturn just gets stuff done. Even if it's slow, meticulous, methodical, it'll get it done. And Aries wants to speed everything up. So there's a little bit of, friction there. And then Jupiter just coming into Cancer is like, oh, I just want this warm hug. I want to hug everybody and just listen to music and enjoy this beauty of our life. And Saturn may be saying something else at that time. We also have Venus. Venus is in Taurus. Beautiful. In a vacuum, A++. And why? Because Venus in Taurus is in a place of domicile. The two benefics, happy, good stuff. They're powerful. And they also, influence each other in a really nice way. But also whatever comes into Taurus gets a welcome punch in the side from Pluto in Aquarius. Square. Pluto in Aquarius is very seriously trying to reconfigure society, reconfigure how we work as a singular unit. That's what Aquarius really is. It's individuals that build up a collective. It might not be the most positive thing to think of, but it's like the Borg. But if the Borg were good, from Star Trek. The Borg are these people that get assimilated into this cubic group that's like there's a hive mind and everybody kind of, I don't know, I shouldn't go too deep into the Borg, but that's one thing that it is, where there's individuals that work together to make something happen. That's Aquarian. Anyways, this week we have all sorts of stuff going on. Monday is very busy. Monday has multiple things happening. So whatever happens on Monday, be very hyper aware. Why? Because that's the day Jupiter enters Cancer. I'm recording on Sunday, the day before, and there's more of a feeling of a little bit, I'm not sure exactly what to say, how to call it, but lots of ideas and not a lot of structure to bind it, because Mercury and Jupiter are making a conjunction. So it's almost like a fried wire. It's like they're in Gemini still, and it's at the 29th degree. So there's all these ideas that are coming through. And so it's a very intense feeling. And it'll vary, right, depending on your chart. But there's an intensity happening right now. Then it's going to release because Mercury is going to go into Cancer, and then it gets a square to Saturn. That's going to preview what's going to happen when Jupiter does that as well. Mercury in Cancer is different than Mercury in Gemini. That's where the information, the ideas, the quickness of the news cycle, everything that's so fast, that's what's going on when it's in Gemini. And then it changes. When Mercury's in Cancer, it's much more heartfelt talks and understanding the feelings behind things, and the mind and the heart kind of working as one. Of course, we know Saturn is in its fall in Aries, and it's just that general that's trying to rally the troops or herd cats or something. What it could mean is there could be some serious talks during this time on Monday, and maybe some news that you don't really feel comfortable with about fighting, or it could be, stuff's going on right now. You know it, I know it, there's stuff going on. So that may be something you're processing, or something else that's similar in your part of the world. Another thing happening on Monday is Venus is going to square up Pluto in Aquarius. If you have a lot of fixed energy, this is going to feel stronger for you, which means if you have Scorpio, Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, you're feeling this one probably pretty strongly. It could be arguments, power struggles. Venus is also in her sign of domicile, so she's very powerful in this space to overcome with something that makes you feel good. So if you do have some tension in your life at this period, maybe do something to treat yourself, do something that you like. Go get a drink or coffee, or go for a walk. Do something that feels good out in nature that is a little bit of a treat for you. This day is just wild. Jupiter also ingresses into Cancer, and that's the planet of optimism, building something beautiful into our lives, and maybe some more hope, This is our pleasure point where we can kind of fall back into the family, or our memories, or our nostalgia, or making memories, maybe making new memories. When I look back at those other times in my life, 2013 to 2014 was one of the best, most fun, joyful times of my whole life. When Jupiter was in Cancer, it was in my 9th house, exploring and having fun and going out into the world and meeting new people and new experiences. The time before that, same. I'm following a trail, so I'm looking forward to it. And the time before that too, I was a kid, but I remember that was when we moved into our new house around that time, and new openings, new experiences when I was a kid. Mercury is also going to square Neptune, so potentially there's a confusion. So just be careful on Monday. Try to just enjoy the beauty. If something gets a little bit out of hand, take your time, take your me time, take a break. And no offense to anybody else, but if you need it, go take it to process. I wanted to tell you about my members only group that's on YouTube if you're interested in a little more of an expanded version of what's going on in the astrology, making different connections that are very creative, learning astrology in a way that connects to real life, and ideas and thoughts and experiences that go beyond whatever I share in these videos. It's a little more vulnerable. I share more of my personal experiences, my life. If it's something you're interested in checking out, I would encourage you to do so. I'd love to have you there, welcome you there. Tuesday, another Jupiter thing, a really nice Jupiter thing actually. It's the full moon in Sagittarius. There's a fire trine that happens with Chiron. I include Chiron. I've learned through all my readings, I've done so many lately, especially with Chiron popping up. And if you don't put Chiron in, you lose out on a whole entire deep lesson of your life, whatever you really have come initially into this world with a fundamental wound. There's something that just comes with us. It's like, oh, you get this one to learn. That's your checklist. And if you can do it, then you alchemize, then you switch it. It's no longer pain. It's something you've experienced the pain. And guess what we learn the best from? Pain. And we learn because we don't want it. So when we have these painful experiences, we know a lot of things about that pain. We've learned some major lessons. It's hopefully helped direct us to become better people. And then it's a wisdom thing. You've got some gold. You can use that pain. It'll never stop hurting, whatever that Chiron thing is. It's like Chiron is always in pain. There's always a pain there, but it doesn't mean it has to rule us or rule our lives. So the full moon in Sagittarius has some release of whatever that identity wound is, the Aries stuff going on. That's bringing in something very powerful because it's also connected, this full moon, to Mars. Mars and Leo at the end there, so empowered, so bold and beautiful. So I feel like this is very energetic. The ruler of this full moon is Jupiter. Jupiter's happy. Jupiter's in Cancer. Jupiter rules Sagittarius. There's something that's shining from December of 2024 that's a revelation, whatever you put the seeds in the ground for at the new moon. The moon that's full always shows us something that we're supposed to see. And then this is an active, optimistic, healing, and empowered full moon. It's probably one of the best full moons of the year. Wednesday is kind of a mixed day. There's one nice little sextile happening, Mercury in Cancer, sextile Venus and Taurus. That's heartfelt thinking from Mercury in Cancer and Venus in Taurus, which is love and comfort and sensuality, the good things in life. So they're connecting really easily. This could be a great day to have a heartfelt talk with a friend, or go on a date, or open up whatever the tension that's going on in the earlier part of this week. Maybe talk it through, and the makeup after the breakup kind of thing, if you know what I mean. There could be something really nice there. Thursday and Friday are pretty quiet days. There's not a lot of clashes or connections happening. So that's good, because we have to process. All this stuff doesn't happen in just one day either. It's not like all of a sudden you apparate somewhere and then you apparate away. It's the freeway, man. It's like getting on the on-ramp, and then you have to go kind of slow to get on. Then you're speeding, and then you're on the freeway, and then you have to get off and slow down. I know I've used that analogy before, but it's a good one. I'm still processing Saturn in Aries. It's made a huge difference for me. And so when we go on this treadmill of astro info, sometimes we forget that, hey, Saturn in Aries, really fresh. It's just at 1 degree. And it's a whole new era. It's a beginning of something massive. And it's giving us previews as to what the whole thing is happening in 2026. The Saturn-Neptune thing is mega. It's massive. If you read my newsletter, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, the last time those things came together were super significant. So I won't go on and on about it, but it's important. Remember, these other things need processing as they're growing and going in our lives. Saturday's another calm day. Sunday has some drama. Sunday, Mars in Leo is going to square Uranus in Taurus. Taurus has had Uranus for a long time, since 2018. So whatever that is, I don't feel like doing math right now, but since then. So what's happening? Mars is very full of pride and bold. It's in Leo, and it wants to stand up for something. It wants to have us fight for our of courage, it's like very brave heart kind of thing. And Uranus and Taurus brings a lot of that sudden surprises, shakeups, and it's square. So there may be something there that affects us, maybe taking a risk, feeling restless, wanting to do something. But Uranus comes in and is like, let me throw this wrench into your system and see what you do there. But of course, we also have Venus in Taurus, which softens the whole thing. There could be some tension on Sunday also because Jupiter in Cancer is squaring Saturn in Aries. I mentioned that already. There's the third thing that's going on. This is the first time they square up, though, in these cardinal signs. The cardinal signs are so powerful. Get it started, blast forward energy. And these two together could bring a reality check from Saturn about limitations of our optimism. And that's okay. It just keeps us in reality. It keeps us not in this, Jupiterian bubble of, oh, everything's wonderful. No, some things are still going to be hard. And that's okay, because two things can simultaneously exist. You can have something challenging and something beautiful happening to you at exactly the same time. It's about where we aim our mind, really. It's mindset. If we focus in on the challenges, that those are helping me grow, they're going to help me be a better person. I have to have these experiences in order to have wisdom that helps get through it, and knowing that everything's temporary. Everything's temporary. Some things move slower than others, but all things shall pass. Jupiter in Cancer wants growth, wants nurturing, wants care, wants family, wants that sort of stuff. And Saturn in Aries is so individual, and Saturn is working so hard to contain something there. So it's kind of just a reality check day. We may have to readjust, but this is the last one, so this is what I like about it. It's had two squares with Jupiter and Saturn in the mutable signs, where thinking about things but not really direct. This is the third hit. We've learned some things, even though these are in new signs. There's a way that we kind of understand. We have to deal with some obstacles, but we should also look to the beautiful things, the optimism, and keep our mind on that as well, our eye on that. I like you just the way you are. I hope you have a beautiful week ahead, and I look forward to talking to you next time.